Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. It's around 5:40 in the morning in Tokyo and like it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.2 degrees Celsius. So let's go for a run. So we got 2 miles today. Let me pop you on my head. Now, if you recall, Monday didn't go our way. It was kind of rough. I had some hip issues. And Wednesdays are normally our recovery 2 miles, and it's already 5:40 and Felicia didn't sleep well and I got all the kids, so I gotta get them to school. So we're probably gonna go light, 1.5 miles, 2.5 miles, nothing too crazy. Sorry for the delay, I was firing off some work. Some of my favorite 5 a.m. emails. But let me pop my other glove on. I know I scheduled this thing for 5:30 and it's like 5:40. And I'm like, is someone really waiting 10 minutes for me? Maybe. But no worries. We're here. We're home today. And the deadlift. So we had a lot of just discomforts on Monday. Couldn't get good posture when running. Our left hamstring was catching, and our whole running form was just gacked. Certain muscle groups were like overactive, underactive. There's a little bit, not a little bit, there's a decent amount of hip pain, glute pain. So actually, if you ever, running a half marathon or training for something hard and you run into a workout that just isn't working the right way, it might be good to check back on that Monday's live or like favorite it, because I did a really good job of talking through when to push and when to pull back. And Monday was absolutely a day where pulling back and rehabbing was so important, so that I can make sure I was in a safe movement zone. And even today, I gotta make sure we stay in that safe movement zone. I did a lot of rehab during Monday's run. Throttled it down to a walk. Did a ton of squats, deadlifts. One of the big wins was like getting in an athletic position, like a half squat, and doing some shuffles. That really helped me isolate some of the issues. So this morning, again, want to be mindful. I don't want to run in a rush. What I care way more about is establishing good functional form. And if things start to get off kilter, to pull it back, reestablish myself physically, or even turn back and pass some of the rehab onto the next day. So that's very exciting. Oh, apple. Actually, it was an orange. It was an orange. I lied to you. I'm so sorry. Whew. So right now, compared to last week, actually feeling much better. I still have a couple watch-outs. A couple areas are asymmetrically fatigued because Monday was such a mess. Actually, this downhill, that's where I start to feel the most aggravated. Let's round it. It's also freaking brisk. Not like Buffalo, New York brisk. I haven't seen some of the pictures of people going to that football game, the Kansas City game. It's like, just cancel the game. I always used to be confused about that as a kid. I was like, just cancel the game. And now I've learned as an adult, I was like, oh, they make money. You only got 16 games to make all your money. You can't cancel a game for weather. So let the fans shovel themselves out. Because if you keep the game on, even if it's not possible to really go and sit safely, you don't have to pay a refund. It's chilly, man. Now I train for this kind of weather, but it still doesn't make it fun. But we've already traversed almost farther than Monday's workout. Although we still had to get back home. But starting to open up my stride a little bit. Almost have a good core contraction. Working on having a little bit of a forward lean. Just enjoying the bleak, cold, quiet stillness of winter. At 5:40 a.m. in Japan. Which is honestly, it's a beautiful time to be out, man. I mean, you look at some of the homes, there's a couple lights on. But for the most part, people aren't going anywhere or doing much yet. Let's walk. It's actually going very well. But the goal today is not cardio, even though it's a run. It's recovery. And we might be itchy because we didn't do our long run on Monday. But long run's not happening today, so it's a silly thing to be caught up on. So we're gonna work on walking with good form. When you walk, you're reducing the pace. You're also reducing the impact. So it gives you a little bit more time to make sure your gait's correct. Whereas when you run, sometimes you could cheat through something that just ain't optimal. So that's what I'm gonna focus on right now, is just walking, trying to drive through some of the discomfort where my left hamstring meets my glute. It's really weird. One of my biggest challenges is walking symmetrically. Just a weird thing. You know, when I was young, you just put on your shoes and be like, I'm gonna make myself go from A to B. Ah. At 31, you're like, is my spine in this journey today? Are my abs adequately and symmetrically creating good pressure and form? Is my lower and mid back taut? Is my lean adequate? Is my hip catching? Is one leg leading the other leg? Is it a running limp, or is it actually running? Because I'm lost. So the amount of factors I go through, it's pretty crazy. Which is why it's so helpful that I'm on my own journey. Because my training has to be unique to what works for me. Another deadlift. Squeeze at the top. There's no G-Son on a balcony smoking. I thought I heard something behind me. Look up and it's like Grandpa's watching, and all you see is like silhouette of Grandpa's head. And like that inhale of the cigarette, like the ember burning. It was very picturesque, actually. Let's do one more deadlift. Let's see if I could jog over the hill. Still not right on my left side. English is such a stupid language. Things are still a little taut. Might need to work Superman's this week. Hold core, lean forward. Small steps. Oh yeah, it's still doable. Still doable, still okay. So when the steps get out in front of my body a little bit too far, if I get impatient, then I'm having some discomfort. Which makes sense, because that would be poor form. So it's interesting, like, because I'm trying to source some of the discomfort I'm having in left hamstring, right hip. I'm like, the source. It's poor core strength, core form up top. I could have ran that. Whew. See if I can get us out to the water. 5 minutes of stillness. Those of you who haven't been on one of these lives before, yeah, I've built a whole DadBod half marathon training program, totally free. It's stored in a Google class. There's a woo, link in the bio. That was a good ankle roll. Wow. That was one of the rare ones where I actually felt it. I'm normally pretty resilient to rolled ankles, which is amazing for a big guy like me. That one I was like, ooh, that was borderline. It was just so dark I couldn't see it. But friends, I've come a long way. There was a season when I moved to Japan because of back injuries and discomfort and the trauma of 12 relocations to get here. Like, I was heavier. Actually, I'm heavier now, but it's different heavy. I was just heavy, unfit. And I normally kind of run to this location, sit down and reflect. Coming from a Christian faith context, I'd pray, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, run back. And it just gave me like kind of a rhythm of both the discipline of toil, but then also reflection and stillness. And both are kind of important. You have to hold them in balance. So that's what I like to do with all of you, is just create a space for stillness if possible. Let's flashlight it. Oops. Flashlight. Reduce the chance of death by 12%. All right. I'm like, I don't know why this looks steeper than other days. It's the same stone wall. That was almost a burn. Ooh, you can actually see the frost on the ground. At least I can. I don't know what you're seeing. But basically, there's a nice little spot out here if I can get to it safely without falling in the river and getting wet socks. Luckily, the river's sitting low, so yeah, that's not an issue today. Normally this is harder. Actually, oh, frick! I almost died again. All right. But anyway, friends, once I get out to kind of my spot by the river, I'm gonna take about 5 minutes of quiet just to pray and process through my week from my unique faith, spiritual context. But I don't want to rob you of an opportunity to rest and reflect over your week, what's going on, what's working, what's not working, the deeper things of who you are and where you want to be, how we want to grow. So I'm going to give you that quiet space as well, and then we'll pick back up, because everyone comes from a wide range of faith and spiritual contacts or lack thereof. So it's nice to share space and sit in the silence for a tiny bit. For some, it's unsettling or not normal, especially because the internet's so swipey, right? You might realize, like, psychologically it's very hard to just enjoy some water for a couple minutes. But I hope that you can still find that joy and reflection. And then we'll come back and I'll fill the live with noise. It looks like they may have taken my path. This might have watered out too much. Someone put a stick here. Really? We're gonna... Ooh, frick. Is that really gonna work? Oh, that was kind of fun. And that's now blissfully out of reach. There's our favorite city. Not Tamagawa. It's Tamagawa. It's 58, so I'll see you at 63 and pop you in my pocket. Just relax. You want to... All right, friends. Hope that's enough reflection for the day. Still working into some aches, kinks, kind of sore pieces, so we'll see. This area is a little unsteady. I figure out how to use that tree bark without dying, especially because I had landed in the wet part, so I can't really sink into this very well. Meow! The meow sound helps. I'm not sure if you knew that or not, but if you give it a good old meow. Now this one looks bad. Alright. It's really a jump for me. And I remember last time, that's actually my foot right there. Made that little indentation from last week. Get ready to launch. Oh, frick, same thing. Heel dug in, but sock is dry. Alright, friends, let's make our way back home. Now, if you're curious from a rehab perspective, if I needed to run a half marathon today, like if the lives of my children depended upon it, I could probably muster the gusto. It would not be fun. I would be very hurt at the end of the journey. But I probably have the strength and endurance to make it happen. But if we're going for what's optimal for kind of my growth and strength and endurance, keeping the last part of this light jog, keeping the distance short, seems to be what my body's asking for right now. It still needs some additional recovery. I'm also working on adding a little bit more sleep to my routine. Don't want to get greedy. Gotta get that perfect sleep score, 4.5 hours. What? No, gotta do a little better than that. But I am actively trying to be a bit more mindful of that, creating spaces for rest. It's hard. It's very hard. And we all know that. We all struggle from time to time. I love that people are trying to say, hey, I know you want a river here, but actually we want a path. Whoa! No, no, no. Bad rock. Oh. All right, so this is fun. Are we just gonna commit to this? Frick. Can I move you closer, perhaps? I want you to just stay. Can you stay? It's like the dropping platforms in Crash Bandicoot. Stand on that sucker too long, you're dead. Try again. Luckily you hit a checkbox. Checkpoint. All right. Whew. Climb with the booty. Push with the booty. There we go. So yeah, my body's not exactly where I want it. From just like a form, and we can say pain. Like, today's a little uncomfy. It is not as bad as yesterday, friends, or Monday. Well, and even not as bad as yesterday. Our strength workout yesterday, not fun. So we're making some progress here, but I gotta remind myself I don't have a half marathon I'm training towards. I'm not on the clock, so I can and I should give my body the time it needs to get on the level, right? Otherwise I just push myself for no reason to get hurt. So I've been lifting too heavy. I'm allowing form to be compromised, and I've paid the price. All right, I'm gonna take a quick bio break. Should take about 30 seconds. I'll set you up to look for a sunrise. Enjoy your perch. Hope you see something cool. I was talking to you like my kids. Daddy will be right back. Friends, we ready to finish this thing up? I did a couple lateral lunges on the way back here in an athletic position, because we all know I'm 307 pounds of athlete at 31. I'm not. But I think I'm gonna walk it back with some squats, some stretches, some lunges. Again, just focus on recovery. Tomorrow's legs day, and we gotta figure out what's been going wrong with legs day, because I think that's the root of this. I've had this happen a couple times in the last 4 weeks. I'm noticing some trends. Something that I'm going after, whether it's a deadlift or a hamstring extension. Maybe it's the sissy squat I was trying out. Something is off enough that it's creating some big time pain and issues. So let's see if I can get sorted. Whew. Like even now I'm having posture in my shoulders adjust, kind of creak, crack, and settle. Has some hip adjustments where it feels like they're a little bit more level. Alright, so let's do a couple shuffles. Let's go sideways. Let's settle. We're just gonna shuffle left. I'll do like 10 of them. Try to do good form. So it's when I am pushing off the left leg, it's the most pronounced. Alright, let's walk it briskly. Can you? I'm about 10 minutes out. Gotta go be a dad. Gotta be a dad. My daughter's awake. But I'm still walking, still working form. When we get to the river, I'll do a hinge and see if I could jog again. Just some good soreness, some good rough spots we're working through today. Following up with it from yesterday and the day before. There's nothing wrong with aches and pains. No, because I was. As long as you know how to navigate them, how to personally kind of rehabilitate them, and how to get your form, your mechanics sitting the right way. Alright, so a screen pull, hit a deadlift, hit a squat. I'm not excited about the squat. Plant my feet, kick my butt back, drive it forward, squeeze. Pretty good, do it again. Squeeze, bring your feet in, squat, squat, lock core, lean forward, small steps. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. See if we can hold this without anything crazy happening. So, it should be mellow, it shouldn't be rushed. It can still be challenging, but the goal today is recover. To feel fresh. Not a flag. It's funny, I have the form and the stamina to do it, which is really good. I'm actually just a little sore, a little tired. Let's walk to the deadlift. And I don't like moving too fast around this area. I like the river sounds. Water bubbles. Water bubbles are the best. Now, the majority of my run used to be along this river. But, fortunately, a tree fell and the city doesn't have money to fix it. So they've just like closed the river walk for almost a year. I'm like, yo, can we move some branches? Apparently like 2 trees had fallen over time. So they probably had some surveyors come out and they're like, ooh, Abanai, which means like it's dangerous, be careful. And they're like, oh, you probably gotta rebuild everything with concrete along the river for it to be safe so that a tree doesn't fall and kill somebody. Probably some civil engineering rules. I was like, I would have much preferred if they had used cones instead of a metal fence to block it. So I can walk around cones. See, there's an expression: if a tree falls and there's no one there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. It still makes a sound. Any tree falling makes a sound. You'll hear a crack and a rumble, rumble, smash, dead. But you still have the crack, rumble, rumble to make some informed decision. Your brain will register the sound. Your echolocation will be able to perceive exactly where the sound came from, to some regard. Not echolocation. Your ears can tell directional sound. We're not bats. Squeeze my core. I drive with my butt. These are all the cues I have to give myself as I do things weird. So many steps. It's always nice when it's 32 degrees and you're still sweating a little bit. On a recovery day of that, of all things, you know. Nice, nice, nice. But nah, so let's see. Yeah, you hear the crack of the sound. You can look or perceive. You have some time to react. Ideally, jump out of the way. Hear that? There's some rustle. I immediately look to identify a threat. So I'm ready to fight Japanese baby brown bear or whatever's in the woods. But my instinct was so quick. There's no way that tree could fall that quickly, silently. Because every tree that falls in a forest makes a sound. Even if no one's there to hear it. It's just science. The leaves rubbing against each other, the impact hitting the ground, all that creates vibrations and disturbances in the air which propagate. So yes, it makes a sound. Let's try it. We're still winded. Tailbone jog. So what I'm trying to do is train good form in small, mellow bursts. And again, form's not perfect. Shoulders not sitting how I want. My abs are asymmetrically sore. But one of the biggest progresses of the run in this moment right now is my gait. In other words, each leg seems to be landing at about the same distance from one another. Same height, same mechanics. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I'll take that. I'll take that momentum. And we'll take as indication of good work and discretion is so important in your training. To be cognitive, to be present, to choose when to push, but also choose how to honor and respect your body, care for it. Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to do. Listen to it. You have to listen to your body. Because a lot of times, pain is an indication that something's not working right. And what I found in my body is often pain in one location normally stems from bad form in a different location. Because everything's connected, right? So if I got hurt in my foot, my knee, my hips, my back, it's a great opportunity for me to pause, gather myself, spread my feet out, do the best deadlift of my life, squeeze at the top, tuck the tailbone, gauge abs, kick the legs behind me, recheck the landing, get control of breathing, maintain stomach contraction. Yeah, I do all the checks and get things moving as intended, safely. That's the secret. I don't run through pain. I reevaluate, recalibrate, try to find the root of it and figure out what needs to be adjusted. To complete this safely. It doesn't mean that running is always comfortable, or that there's going to be some aching, some natural fatigue, and yes, sometimes pain, because things are uncomfortable, things need to be strengthened. But if you run through every pain at my age, with my pre-existing health conditions and weight, you will definitely be injured. That's the challenge.